Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are about to discuss silver that you should not buy in 2022. See, times are changing. 2 years ago, the coins that I would have told you in this video are much different than today. We need to learn how to adjust and adapt. The advice that I would give someone back pre-pandemic is much different. The market is shifting, and we could either kick and scream and talk about crazy high premiums on American Eagles, or we can take this opportunity to lower our dollar per ounce average and go a different route. And that's what we're going to talk about. Before we go into this very important video though, I have a major announcement. Check this out. You are now witnessing the first ever silver stacking podcast to ever exist. Yes, this is my new channel, also co-hosted by Investing with TJ, and we got John Optics as the graphic artist. You do not want to miss this thing. This is going to be so beneficial to the world of silver stacking. I mean, one, me and TJ both come from different sides of the coin. Right, he's the numbers guy. He'll be able to give us weekly updates on the technicals. I come from the other perspective of the more silver stacker side of things. So we'll be able to both bring our specialties to the table and also combine those and talk about those things to really give us a well-rounded idea of the silver market. Not only that though, we thought this through. We're not just throwing this together. We have been doing meetings, texting constantly back and forth of ways to make this thing better. We already have locked in special guests with big bullion dealers so we get an inside scoop of the idea of what's really happening, because we're on the outside. We have an inside person to ask questions and pick their brain. We also have a lot of different categories. We'll be doing silver memes, we'll be doing interviews, we'll be doing live streams, we'll be doing giveaways, but we also have a lot of other stuff planned. Make sure you're subscribed though, because we're doing a 1,000 subscriber silver giveaway. The first 1,000 subscribers are eligible to win some silver. Every Friday, new podcast is going to be dropping every day throughout the week. We'll be dropping a segment from the podcast. So even if you miss the full hour, you'll still be able to check out what we discussed. You don't want to miss this stuff. We got special guests locked in, big bullion dealers. We'll have the inside scoop coming from the outside, perspective. I think it's going to be really, really entertaining and educational and informational. TJ and I both bring different specialties, right? He's the numbers guy, the charts, and I'm basically the exact opposite from supply and demand, silver shortage, all the stacking strategy. So it's just going to be a very, very well-rounded type of podcast, and I just can't see how this thing isn't going to be so important, right? Just really important for the silver stacking world. The time for this to happen was coming, and I just thought it was the right time. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't ever miss a podcast. Let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about some silver that you should not buy in 2022. I can't tell you what personally to buy because everyone has different financial situations, right? Different exit strategies, different amounts of silver, different time frames, different reasons for stacking. All I can do is explain the reasoning of why I think I personally should be investing a certain way, if you get what I'm saying. I'm going to be coming from more of a universal perspective. Since I can't tell you what to do, all I can do is tell you what makes sense to me, and you can reflect that upon your own stack and make that decision. That's also, I think, more educational. Just like catch a fish for a man, he eats for a day. Teach the man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. If I can make this video successful, then by the end, you will know how to apply this principle to any coin you buy. Because believe it or not, every ounce that I buy online, I already think about how I'll be able to sell that coin. And since I'm thinking about how I'll be able to sell that coin, the types of silver we now are buying has drastically uh, shifted than pre-pandemic. And what I mean by that is this. I used to tell beginners, you know what? American Eagles are definitely the safest, smartest way to go. They're very, very close to spot price, $1 or $2, and they're recognized around the world. You can take an American Eagle anywhere in the world and they will at least recognize that coin as valuable. You can't do that with any other silver coin. But nowadays, American Eagles have 10, 13, maybe even 15 plus dollar premiums. So if you're buying a whole bunch of American Eagles, you're not going to break even anymore. You have to figure out a way to keep the dollar per ounce average as low as possible. What that means is buying generics. I used to not recommend generics. I used to recommend American Eagles because it's an actual coin, it's legal tender, it's government backed, so it's harder to be faked, and people trust it more. But that's not the case anymore. The premiums are too high, and it's going to be a lot harder to make a profit. And as investors, profit is everything. So, generics are definitely the way to go. Now, I just did an unboxing video, and I unboxed a 10-ounce bar. The best way to get the biggest bang for your buck is, in my opinion, buying 10-ounce generic bars. Now, not kilo, not 20 ounces. That's going to lower your potential buyers base. I mean, think about it. If silver gets to $100, $500, the person that's going to be able to afford that bar is drastically cut down because that's going to be extremely expensive. Liquidity is key, especially in an emergency situation. If you have to get it off fast, it's going to be a lot harder to get that extremely expensive bar off. So 10 ounces is the highest I will go in terms of ounces. So if you want to get the biggest bang for your buck, buy a 10-ounce bar instead of 10 individual generic coins, and there you go. 10-ounce generic bars are literally the biggest bang for your buck, still playing it safe in return in terms of liquidity. So what are some silver coins you shouldn't buy this year? One are American Eagles. I would rather buy a Panda than an American Eagle because Pandas are about the same price as American Eagles. Pandas, very low mintage numbers compared to American Eagles. Very low mintage numbers. Plus, the design changes every year. Yes, the Type 2 Eagles did change designs, but that's the first time ever, and they're going to stay that design from now until whoever knows. So, we still have to pretend like those aren't collector coins. We still have to pretend and assume that those coins won't grow any type of numismatic value, or I guess calling it a semi-numismatic coin or high premium coin. Pandas over the next 5-10 years are going to double, triple in price. American Eagles are essentially stuck to spot price. It's a little different now since coins are growing premiums. They're detaching itself from spot price. So we do have this kind of this weird gray area where even bullion coins that are supposed to be pegged to spot price aren't. So it does also depend on whether you think silver's price is going to stay or go higher. What I mean by that is this. You can see how this can be very complicated because it really does depend on a lot of factors. An SHTF survivalist is going to be investing in different types of silver as compared to a collector. Now, you could argue that buying silver pegged to spot price is silly, because if spot price in 20 years stays the same, then your stack hasn't appreciated a single penny. You'll just break even. But the collector is looking at things as, if I buy pandas and kookaburras, those coins quadruple by that time. So even if spot price stays the same, my stack will still profit. But then the SHTF survivalist is saying, well, spot price is definitely not going to be that in 20 years, so why not buy the cheapest coins possible so I can add more ounces to the stack? You see how two different perspectives, two different people thinking of what the market's going to do is going to determine the silver they buy. Well, ask yourself, are you the prepper, the person that thinks spot price is going to explode? So you're just going to buy as many ounces as possible? Or are you the person that's going to say, well, I'm going to buy some riskier coins that will profit for sure? Why not do both? Diversification is key, right? Balancing your stack. That's why I also do buy pandas. That's why I just bought the 2022 Lunar Tiger, the Rwanda series Tiger. Coin is definitely not spot price, but I know that series does good. I probably could have bought 2 ounces instead of that 1 ounce coin, but that's me diversifying my stack and adding some higher premium silver that will appreciate over time regardless of what spot price does. So you see the direction I'm going with this video. You can play it safe, but there's also coins that you should stay away from. Right now, American Eagles do not make sense to me. Maple Leafs lower premiums, so you could, in my opinion, I could stack those. What other coins? I definitely don't see graded bullion coins having any place, especially nowadays with premiums higher. I'm not gonna get a a, a normal bullion coin graded. I mean that's kind of silly because I could buy that raw coin on AppMex or somewhere, and I could just send it into NGC and get that same grade. So pay for the coin, not the slab. That's another saying of the silver stackers. Pay for the coin, don't pay for the slab. A lot of people pay for that slab even though you could bust out the coin out of that slab and it makes no difference. So if I'm going to buy a slab coin, it's going to be an older dated coin, and I got to make sure that the condition is worth it. And what I mean by that is this. There's a lot of Morgans going on sale right now. But if you don't know the market of Morgans, you will get ripped off on eBay. Each Morgan each year has a dramatically different amount of coins minted that year. If you don't know that 1921 was the last year that Morgans were minted, and you see that coin going for a certain price, you think that's cheap, but actually 1921 is a very common year. There's lots of them and they're not worth that much. But you're thinking, man, it's a 1921 Morgan, I must be getting a deal, when really you're getting your head ripped off because you could find that coin somewhere else for much cheaper. But then you could look at a 87 Morgan or something, a Carson City version, and that coin could be through the roof, and you're saying, why is that coin worth that much? Well, it's because that coin is worth that much. Carson City, that's a very rare coin. But also condition. If you can't, and if you cannot grade Morgans with your own eye, then do not buy those coins, because people will mark the grade up saying the coin's in better condition than it is. And when you're talking about an older coin like that, condition matters. Condition could mean the difference between thousands of dollars, definitely hundreds of dollars with the market of Morgans on eBay, sometimes thousands of dollars when you're talking about a Carson City. So that just goes to show that when I'm talking to beginners saying just buy cheap silver, there's a reason. There's a lot of fake silver out there, but there's also a lot of overpriced silver. So in 2022, stay away from the risky stuff. If you're just starting out, just buy generics. Just add as much silver to your stack for as cheap as possible. If you're building a house and the house foundation isn't stable, that house is going to crumble. And that's that. I mean, that's as plain as simple as it is. I made this topic very complicated, but at the end of the day, if you're a beginner, just buy generics. I recommend 10-ounce generic bars because you're cutting down the premium of each 1 ounce coin for buying 10 of them. You could buy one 10-ounce bar and just make that a one bulk order. Save yourself money. It's definitely cheaper to buy a 10-ounce bar than 10 1-ounce coins. So yeah, I don't know. I hope you followed with me through that. If you're still watching the video, pat yourself on the back. Most people clicked off the video in 2 minutes thinking they know it all. But you wanted to soak up every piece of information, and I respect you for that. And that is going to translate into your stacking success. It speaks for itself. So yeah, I mean, make sure that you do subscribe to the podcast. A lot of fun stuff happening. Remember, if you're in the first 1,000 subs, you're eligible to win some silver. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.